We're going to build a little debris hut today. We've come to this location because the ground's reasonably dry. The wood in the background will give us protection against the wind. There's no dead overhanging trees or branches what's going to come down on us. The ground's level and dry. But also, the materials to hand, pine tree here, which we're going to utilise for this. Here's the pine tree what's come down. So we're going to utilise this in the construction of the shelter. We're making the shelter by it. So we don't have to walk and lug loads of materials in from far away. So I've made a triangle now. The two sticks at the bottom is given my length, so I don't want the shelter. I want it high enough for me to be able to kneel in the shelter, making it a little bit more comfortable, but not too high where I'm going to need lots of materials to build it. So I've got the triangle sorted out now. I'll show you how I fix in. This is how we fixed it. I've used two V's interlocked and another pole coming over the back. Hopefully we don't need any lashings for this shelter because it's all gravity pressured, holding it all together nice and firm. Now it's a matter of putting bars over the back and then putting some thatch in. So we've put in some ribs around the outside now, and now it's going to be ready for the thatch. Now if it was going to be a finer thatch, I'd have to put more sticks and interweave them a bit and lock them up. But it's quite a large thatch spruce and I've got plenty of it, so I can really put it on thick. How we're going to thatch is putting our pine boughs. These are the lower end of the tree, so they're got no leaves on at the moment. And we're just going to put it in and let it rest against it and let the gravity do the work for us. This of course a nice little lattice, so when we put the pine boughs on, they'll rest against that and not come through to the shelter. The wicker frame's coming together now, and I'm pretty happy with that. There's no particular large gaps, maybe one I can see now I'm looking. I'll get another stick for that, and then we're going to start putting the thatch on. The thatch has got to be reasonably deep to shed the worst of the rain. Time's ticking on now, but as you can see, the shelter's been thatched. There's a couple of holes I need to fill. And it's a nice deep bed of it. I've got to put a floor in now and light a fire. These shelters don't stay particularly warm without a fire. That's the sort of roundy dome effect inside, so it bounces around the radiation for heat, keeping you warm. Here I am, set up in the shelter now. I didn't get around to thatching it in the end. I'll leave that for another day, I think. But this is going to keep it off the worst of myself. Now, fire going in front of me, 1.5 steps away from the shelter so the sparks don't hit and set the shelter on fire. I'm going to build a reflector so that bounces the heat back into me, and a bit more bedding to keep me up a bit more off the damp ground. But this is a nice little snug shelter. It's took about 2.5 hours of hard work to do, so all in all, not too bad.